Here we go. Hello, I am Ryan LaFernie. I am a reference librarian here at the Avon-Washington Township Public Library, and this is my colleague.
I'm Jo Lauk. I'm also a librarian here at the library.
And we are both huge board game enthusiasts, and we are in charge of the board game collection here at the library. And we wanted to take a few minutes just to give you an introduction to our collection here and maybe make some recommendations. Now, you might often hear board games referred to as tabletop gaming, and tabletop gaming is actually a broader term that encompasses a lot of other type of games that, than just board games. Tabletop games are games that are normally played on a table or other flat surface, and this does include board games, like I mentioned, but it also includes card games. So games like Exploding Kittens or Dominion. Dice games, a game like Zombie Dice, miniature war games, and tile-based games such as King Domino. There's many benefits to playing tabletop games. They help us socialize and bond with others, our family and friends, and often complete strangers. You can attend conferences like Gen Con and just walk up to a complete stranger and make a friend and play a board game. They help develop executive functions skills, such as planning, organization, decision making. They improve language skills. So they are a form of literacy. They teach the value of teamwork, especially if you're playing a cooperative game like Pandemic. And they're a great way to unplug from technology. And what else do you think, Jo?
Also, they're just fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're ultimately fun. And so now we're going to talk about some contemporary classics, some gateway games that are a great starting entry point into gaming.
So if you're not familiar with the term gateway game, as Ryan said, it's a way to get into gaming. As the definition is on the screen, we have a gateway game is a board game that teaches some core mechanisms in modern gaming in a relatively light, easy to teach package. They're the sort of games that are easy to learn, easy to pick up, and once somebody's really gotten the hang of how it works, they start getting interested in maybe what else is out there, what other games are like this, what other ways can we have fun with these games. And so it's the gateway into the gaming community, basically.
Yeah, and for me it was Catan. What was it for you, Jo?
It was also Catan for me. It was called something slightly different when I started playing it, though.
Settlers of Catan. My wife and
Yes.
I have that at home. So
Yes.
We have the original game at home, yes.
Catan's probably a good place to start. It's a great gateway game. In fact, Katana is the game that introduced me to the world of contemporary tabletop games. Katana sold more than 18 million copies worldwide and is one of the most well-known tabletop games on the market. The theme of Katana is a classic one. Settlers venture into a new, unexplored land, which must be tamed and civilized. You do this through dice rolling and network building, building roads, then settlements, and cities, where in turn you get victory points. Katana is a highly strategic game that allows for fierce negotiation at the gaming table. It's not too difficult to understand and play, but can be fairly challenging game due to its dynamics. One of the benefits I enjoy about Katana is, if you can see in that picture, the pieces are all modular, so when you assemble the board is going to be different every single time you play, which gives you a high rate of replayability within the game. It's going to be a different setup, and so you have to your strategy will be different for every game that you play.
Yeah, I don't recommend doing this for your first time, but when you play this game, but you can also play blind, where you flip the tiles over after laying them down without seeing what they are. That's kind of a fun way to have things different too.
Oh, and there are a couple expansions for it too. We don't have them here at the library, but there are expansions that'll add. One of them adds boats. There's the other expansion that's popular with this one is cities and knights, and you have knights and you have people who are attacking your civilization. You have to defend against it. And there's even just expansions that increase the number of players to 5 to 6 players. So it's got some variability.
Yeah.
Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride is also one of the ones I learned earlier on, actually.
Me too.
This is a great one for people who like trains. It's another classic gateway game. It's known for its simplicity as well as for its many expansions. Ticket to Ride is a cross-country train adventure in which players collect and play matching train cards to claim railway routes connecting cities throughout North America. The longer the routes, the more points they earn. Additional points come to those who can fulfill their destination tickets by connecting 2 distant cities and the player who builds the longest continuous railway. This is a great game for family game night, and if you like a little competition. This one, it's kind of fun because you can learn the map as you're playing. And if you really enjoy the game, the library has this base game, but there are alternate maps you can play with as well to learn other areas of the world. It gives you some basic idea where many of the better known cities of the United States, where they are located on the map. It can be a lot of fun. It doesn't have the modular playability that Catan has because the map is the same every time, but it's still a lot of fun to play.
Oh yeah, we do have a junior version of this game in the collection for children.
Great.
Which is like, what is it, My First Journey or something like that?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So the next game we're going to talk about is Dominion. It is a deck building game, which is one of my favorite types of games. So a deck building game is a self-contained game in which the construction of a card deck is the primary focus. So you're not playing on a board or anything like that. You're basically playing with what's in your hand. Dominion is very simple, and it's a very accessible deck building game that has, I would say, great replayability. That's
yes.
It's basically in Dominion, you're feudal monarchs, and you're attempting to expand your kingdom. And it's a race to gobble up unclaimed land, defend your lands, hire help, construct buildings like your castle, and fill your treasury. So to do so, players buy cards each turn to add to their decks, slowly growing more powerful as the game progresses. And the game is designed for 2 to 4 players. The goal is to have the most victory points at the end of the game. What makes this game really unique is that there's a lot of different types of cards you can lay out each time you play, and you can mix them up, kind of mix and match to kind of what you want to play with. So you can have different sort of action cards, and each card has a different action or whatnot that that you can play with. Like the village card gives you like, I think it's 1+ card plus 2 actions. So it allows for all a different variability to happen as you're playing, which is a lot of fun. And there's expansions for this as well, multiples.
Can I make a quick point here?
Yeah.
This is one thing we didn't touch on in our discussion about this. This is not a collectible card game either. When you play this game, it's not like you have to buy all these extra expansion packs to get the perfect cards. This game, everybody's playing with the same set of cards, and you have the same potential to get it as anybody else. It's really learning how to balance your deck building, though. Yeah.
It's what you get in the box is what you get in the box. There's no need to
no
buy
rarity.
up. Yeah, it's true. The next type of game that we have in our collection is tile laying games, and the most popular one is King Domino. So tile placing games are games that feature placing pieces onto a board to score victory points, often based on other tiles directly adjacent to them. King Domino is a relaxing, fun, quick, and easy tile laying family game. So I definitely recommend this one for families. King Domino uses tiles with 2 sections, similar to dominoes. Each turn, each player will select a new domino to connect to their existing kingdom, making sure at least one of its sides connects to a matching terrain type already in play. The order of who picks first depends on which tile was previously chosen, with better tiles forcing players to pick later in the next round. The game ends when each player has completed a 5x5 grid or has failed to do so, and points are counted based on the number of connecting tiles and valuable crown symbols. So really easy, quick game. The difficulty's low, great for families, great for people who just want to do something within, a 25-minute span of time.
All right, I'm excited I get to do this one. This is a cooperative game. It's pandemic. Cooperative games require the players to work together, not just a little, but entirely. It's one of those games where everybody wins or everybody loses. The most popular cooperative games is probably Pandemic. which is a game that requires all players to work together to save humanity as a member of a disease-fighting team. In pandemic, several virulent diseases have broken out simultaneously all over the world. The players are disease-fighting specialists whose mission is to treat disease hotspots while researching cures for each of 4 plagues before they get out of hand. The game board depicts several major population centers on the Earth. On each turn, a player can use up to 4 actions to travel between cities, treat infected populaces, discover a cure, or build a research station. A deck of cards provides the players with these abilities, but sprinkled through this deck are epidemic cards that accelerate and intensify the disease's activity. A second separate deck of cards controls the normal spread of the infections. Taking a unique role within the team, players must plan their strategy to mesh with their specialist strengths in order to conquer the disease. You lose the game by running out of player cards, by running out of cubes, or hitting 8 outbreaks. If the players can cure the 4 diseases before running out of cards, cubes, or hitting the outbreaks, they all win. They're really fun, work together kinds of games. Given how things are right now, this is kind of a weird game to be playing, I suppose. But it's fun. If you've it always makes me think, or the game always came to mind when the movie Contagion came out. I don't know if you saw that one, but this feels like it felt very much like playing a game of Pandemic.
And I would say Pandemic's actually really educational. It shows that it really takes the cooperation of the entire world to get a pandemic under control.
Yes.
And so I think in that sense, it could be a useful tool to help educate people about the role of different government agencies throughout the world and tackling
and how they all have to work together.
Yeah, exactly. Hence, either you all lose or you all win in this game.
Yes. This one's another fun one. This is what falls into the realm of what we would call party games. This is a game called Code Names. Party games tend to have simplified rules and are easy to play. Party games are perfect for really any occasion. Code Names is a great game to play when you're a large group. In Code Names, 2 teams compete to see who can make contact with all of their agents first. Spy masters give one-word clues that can point to multiple words on the board. Their teammates try to guess the words of the right color while avoiding those that belong to the opposing team. Everyone wants to avoid the assassin. Code Names, win or lose. It's a fun to figure out the clues. This one could be a lot of fun if you're good at linking words up. If you're good with words and you can connect with the people who are on your team to help them figure out what words you're trying to communicate, it's really fun. It can be a bit of a challenge too sometimes.
So those are just a few that we wanted to highlight, but we have multiple other types of games in our collection. We have role-playing games such as Dungeons and Dragons. We have the Player's Handbook and the Master's Guide. We got push your luck games like Exploding Kittens and Zombie Dice, which is also a dice rolling game. That's a lot of fun and I really like. It's super simple. We got worker placement games such as Unearth, which is a really neat game. If you haven't played it, I recommend you checking it out. We also have area control games such as Small World and many, many others. And we are always adding new games to our collection. So to make sure to keep an eye out for new titles, we have a whole bunch that are getting ready to hit the shelf sometime within the next month or so, including a game that's based on Jaws, which I'm really looking forward to trying to play, and Villainous, which I've heard good things about.
Yes.
So be sure to check those out.
If you like Disney, Villainous is an excellent choice for a game to play.
Oh yeah, And then I wanted to point out that also on our website, which is avonlibrary.net, you can actually find a link that has to board game tutorials, and it will take you to YouTube. And actually, I'll show you how to do that. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna stop my screen share here, and I'll get back to it in just a minute. Bear with me. Joe, show your hands, do something funny. All right. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. So here we are at our home page. It's, like I said, it's avonlibrary.net. And what you would do is you go to homeroom, go to adult services, and it's kind of tucked away here. It's under adult board games. And you'll get our board game facts, who can check out board games, how long, etc. And then all these are the games that we have in our collection. And you can click on it for a tutorial. So I'll just randomly pick, let's pick Katana here. And it will take you to different tutorials. Like we have Will Wheaton and his tabletop gaming program. And there's a whole bunch of different types of ones that we have. So let's see. Astro Trash, Tantrum House. So a variety of different board game reviewers for your viewing pleasure. And other than that, that's our presentation. We hope you check out some board games here and yeah.
Have some fun.
Yeah, play on.